Hello, drama lovers. Welcome back to K-pop world. Today, we're diving into a story that not everyone is ready to hear. Not because it's too tragic, nor because it's too complicated, but because this story touches something deep inside all of us about loss, about silence that carries emotion, and about two people who have looked at each other too many times, but never truly had each other. This isn't just a rumor. It isn't just fan service. This is about one simple sentence that finally came out of the mouth of someone who's been a master at hiding his feelings. I almost lost the person I love and care about. That sentence was spoken by Xiao Zhan, and the person he meant was Wang Yibo. No one was ready when everything happened so fast. Not even Xiao Zhan. That morning began like any other. A packed schedule, tired eyes, and a polite smile that had become a daily mask. No strange feelings. No warnings, until a phone call from his manager shattered every bit of controlled peace he had built for years. Yibo was rushed to the hospital. His condition is critical. He's undergoing emergency surgery. Xiao Zhan went silent. He didn't turn, didn't ask anything, didn't get angry. He just stood still. But in the way he closed his eyes too long, in the way his hands trembled slightly, anyone could see it wasn't just bad news. It was news that hit straight through the chest. In a flash, he ran. No change of clothes. No care for the schedule. He rushed to the hospital with panicked steps he'd never shown in public before. In a life where everything was always under control, that day, all control disappeared. But when he arrived at the hospital, reality was even crueler. The ICU doors were closed, heavily guarded. No entry. Only family members were allowed inside. And him? He wasn't family, not by law. But in his soul, Wang Yibo was everything. I just want to see him, just for a moment. Please. That wasn't the voice of a famous celebrity. That was the voice of someone who was about to lose the one person he couldn't live without. But the guards didn't move. And for the first time, the world saw Xiao Zhan's greatest defense fall apart. His calmness. He sat on the hospital floor. His eyes were blank. He didn't cry. But anyone watching could see this man was breaking slowly. 7 hours. 7 hours of surgery. 7 hours of uncertainty. And each second felt like a needle stabbing the heart. No updates. No news. Nothing he could do except wait. Only someone who's truly feared losing a person would understand that feeling. Not the fear of losing a career, money, or fame, but the fear of losing someone who had quietly become the center of everything. Someone who knew when you were tired, even if you didn't say it. Someone who saw you as you, not as a public figure, not as an idol, not as a star. And for Xiao Zhan, that person was Wang Yibo. When the surgery finally ended and the doctors came out, Xiao Zhan's face tensed. Everyone stood, all breaths held. Then the sentence came. The surgery was successful, but he's still unconscious. Xiao Zhan nearly collapsed, but he didn't leave. He stayed. Even when the nurse kindly asked him to rest, he only shook his head. I'll wait here until he opens his eyes. And finally, when the day began to turn, Wang Yibo opened his eyes, slowly, weakly, and the first voice he managed to whisper with dry lips was, Xiao Zhan, is he here? Everyone froze. Even the nurses gasped. He didn't ask about his contract, didn't ask about his filming schedule, didn't ask for water or his mother. He asked for one person. And that was the most honest answer from the heart of someone who had just come back from the edge of death. After that, everything changed. The media began to sense something deeper than friendship. Photos of Xiao Zhan at the hospital began to circulate. Some believed it was just concern, but many fans knew better. They saw it, the look in Xiao Zhan's eyes that night. It wasn't just concern. He looked shattered, and only someone who's in love can fall apart that deeply. Days later, in an exclusive interview, Xiao Zhan finally spoke. His face appeared calm, but the tone of his voice couldn't hide the wound that hadn't healed. When asked about Wang Yibo's condition, he paused. Then he said, I almost lost the person I love and care about. At that moment, I realized how deep the feelings were that I've been hiding, and the world stood still. Fans cried. The hashtag Xiao Zhan for Yibo immediately trended. The media didn't know how to title the moment. And for the first time, fandoms didn't divide, they all agreed on one thing. That love is real, even if it was never declared. Reactions poured in from everywhere. He didn't say friend. He didn't say colleague. He said, the person I love and care about. Love doesn't always need an announcement. Xiao Zhan's words were enough. If this isn't love, I don't know what is. Some even made tribute videos. Clips from their past. Laughing during filming, helping each other behind the scenes, accidental touches, went viral once again. What once seemed like fan service now felt unmistakably genuine. They may never admit it. They may continue to live within the boundaries of this harsh entertainment world. But those who see, they know. Now, Wang Yibo is much better. He's smiling again, slowly returning to the public eye. And in one of his posts, he wrote, "Thank you for waiting." Xiao Zhan didn't comment, but he liked the post. Quietly, just like the way he loves. Quietly. And sometimes, silence is louder than any words. Today, we might not get a confirmation. There won't be a public "we're together." But love isn't about declarations. Love is about who you ask for when you're near death. Who you think of when everything else disappears. Whose name you whisper when you're barely conscious. And for Wang Yibo, that name was Xiao Zhan. To those of you who followed this story from the beginning, what do you think? Is this just the story of two friends who grew too close? Or a love that simply couldn't be named? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. And for those who want to know how this story unfolds, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because we'll continue to bring you the latest updates from a story that not everyone dares to tell. Behind the spotlight and the flashing cameras, there's a love that grows in silence. And sometimes that silence says everything. See you in the next episode, only on K-Pop World.